Well, this is a first. It's a few days before Christmas and also the start of a new NBA season. Hey, it's 2020. Anyway, plenty to discuss about this new look 76ers team. And who better to help us preview the season than Inquirer.com Sixers beat writer Keith Pompey. Hey, Keith, how you doing?
Hey, how you been, man? Happy
Doing okay.
holidays.
Doing okay. First thing, Keith, let's talk about the coaching change. What's your take? How will a Doc Rivers team be different from a Brett Brown squad in terms of philosophy, style of play, et cetera?
I think with the style of play, Brett Brown was more like transition. Let's get up and down. I think Doc Rivers is going to be more of like a motion offense, but also he's going to incorporate a lot of pick and rolls. And we're going to see some pick and rolls with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And the good thing about it is when you have these pick and rolls, you're going to have like two shooters on one side, another shooter on the other side so it's like there's going to be a lot of options for Ben. He doesn't always have to go towards Joel. He could kick it out and find Tobias in the corner or Seth at the wing. So it's going to be a lot of options. Tobias Harris and Seth Curry I'm talking about. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
going to be a
excited
lot of
about that.
options for them.
Well, as you wrote in your piece on Sunday, they've been working hard on their defense. Is the D going to be a key to how successful they are this season?
We're talking everything good about this offense, but the offense is a little bit behind, right? So the defense is going to have to keep them in games. And when you look at it, you have Ben Simmons, an all-league defender. Joel Embiid is a quality defender as well, and Dwight Howard coming off the bench. So they're going to try to use their length to, get in the passing lanes and to prevent people from, scoring at the rim.
All right, full disclosure for our viewers and listeners, we are taping this Monday evening, and barring a last-minute surprise, we're going to have Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons in the starting lineup. Tobias Harris, as you mentioned, is back. Who are the other two starters, the way it's looking, and who are the primary reserves?
Okay, right now, the other two starters are Danny Green, a guy who they acquired in the trade from Oklahoma City, a multiplayer trade, and then Seth Curry, a guy who they acquired in the trade from the Dallas Mavericks. And those two guys should provide the spacing. Now, coming off the bench, typically when they sub in three guys. And those first three guys that come in are going to be Dwight Howard, backup center. There's going to be Shake Milton, the backup point guard, and Furkan Korkmaz. And, he's a wing, a 2-3 guy. Mike Scott is going to be the fourth guy off the bench. And right now it's to be determined on who's going to be the 10, because you have a rookie, you have a second-year guy, Matisse Thybulle, and then you have the rookie Tyrese Maxey. These two guys are kind of battling for that 10 spot right now.
Hey, you mentioned Seth Curry. What should we expect from him?
The thing about Seth, he's a great shooter, but he doesn't take bad shots. It's kind of like, there are certain guys out there who will force it because they just want to like hoist up shots. He's a guy, if it's not a good shot, he's going to swing the ball to a teammate who he feels like who has a better shot. I think that, he's going to be a good addition to stretch the floor. But I also think that, people may early on going to have to get a patient when they figure out his game, and also he has to the teammates have to figure out his game as well.
Now, I'm saying this based on 2 preseason games, which is kind of silly on my part, but Shake Milton looks like he has improved since last season when that ended way back in August. Do you agree that Shake could provide some, instant offense this year?
I do. You know what? And the way I look at it, he looks like Shake Milton pre-bubble. Like before they went in the bubble when he was starting in place of Ben Simmons. It's to me, he just went out there and he played and he did what he had to do and he shocked people. And now Doc Rivers came in and he told him, look, go back to them being that way. Don't worry about being a distributor. Just play. And I think that Shake Milton is going to elevate his game, so to speak, and he's going to be in the conversation as one of the top reserves out there.
Another guy that you mentioned is the rookie Tyrese Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
He showed off some skills in the 2 preseason games. How does he fit in? You said he's battling for one of those final spots. Do you think he's going to get some playing time and contribute?
Yeah, I do. I think that it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be hard to keep him off the court. It really is. And he's, like you said, he's played well. Now, some people can argue, well, the one game he came in the fourth quarter and they were playing against guys who are going to be in the G League or guys who won't make the Boston Celtics team. But that's what it was going to be like in Summer League. And he showed you the explosion that you needed to see, the shot selection with that, that the Sixers are raving about. I think it's going to be hard to get him off the floor, the way he pushes the pace, the way he can get in the lane, the way he can find teammates. To me, he has to play. He has to play.
I'm excited about Dwight Howard being on the team. He's a veteran who, of course, just won a championship with the Lakers. He seems like he really wants to be here in Philly and to try to win another title, even as a backup to Embiid. How much does Dwight Howard have left in the tank?
He has a lot left in the tank. I mean, you can just look at his body and tell. Yeah. You know what I mean? He looks like a Greek god, right? The thing about Dwight, and one thing that you didn't mention is he's also motivated.
Yeah.
And motivated from the standpoint where, let's face it, he thought he was going to be a Laker next year. And then the Lakers kind of reneged on a deal that he had. So basically he comes here. So he's motivated. But the one thing is, Dwight Howard, what makes him such a great fit for the Sixers team is he was Joel Embiid before Joel Embiid years ago. Dominant young guy who never reached his potential, as good as he played. And I think that having a guy like that here is going to only benefit Joel, because he could talk about the missteps that he made to make sure Joel stays on the straight and narrow.
Well, let's hope Joel is motivated and in good health. And presuming good health, will Embiid be a more dominant player, do you think, under Doc Rivers?
I do. I think so. I mean, the first preseason game showed me a lot, because it was one of those things where Doc Rivers was like, trust me. We're not going to run too many plays for you. We're not going to do anything. But in this offense, you're going to realize that even though there's not a lot of plays being ran, you're the best player and the ball is going to end up in your hands and you're going to take advantage of it. And he had 18 points in the first half. So I think that when you also include Danny Green and Seth Curry combined with Tobias Harris, 3 shooters, that's going to provide the spacing that Joel hasn't had since 3 years. So I think that's going to open up a lot of things for him.
Okay, Ben Simmons. I've given up on expecting him to take more actual jumpers, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if he does mix in one every game or two. Beyond that, will Simmons' game look any different this season compared to the past 3?
And that's the biggest question mark right now.
Yeah.
Because, it's like every year we want to come out and say, yes, you see the videos, you do stuff like that. And you also saw him shoot a 3 in the preseason game on Friday night, right? Well, he has to prove that he's going to keep that up. Right now people are talking trade talk, so he does it. So to me, that's a tough question to answer, man. I would love to say definitely I can, but I can't say that now, because when you have these shooters out there, he can come back and say, well, it's not my job to shoot. My job is to find teammates. But I'm here to tell you, if his game doesn't change, I don't think the Sixers are going far in the playoffs.
All right, Keith, it's a 72-game season this year. How many wins for the Sixers? What will their playoff seed be?
Wow, that's a good one. 46.
46
maybe.
and 26? I would take that.
Yeah, 46 and 26.
Third or fourth seed? Third
with
seed?
4th or 5th. I have them as the 5th. I think that Brooklyn and Milwaukee are going to be so good that they're going to be battling for the best records in the league, right? And my reasoning is, I know some people say, why the 5th seed? Well, I don't see them being better than Miami, nor do I see them being better than Boston. So they're going to have to battle Toronto and teams like that. I just don't see it.
Bonus question, Keith. People who follow you on Facebook know what football team you root for. Who's going to win that wacky NFC East this year?
I hope it's not the Washington football team, but I'm starting to think it's going to be the Washington football team. For people who follow me on Facebook, I'm a Giants fan, a trash-talking Giants fan, but all for good fun. But you know what? I'm starting to think it's going to be the Redskins. I don't know. The Eagles look good now again, but I don't know.
Inquirer.com's Keith Pompey. Keith, always a pleasure. Enjoy your holidays. We'll talk to you again, I'm sure, in 2021.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you guys in 2021. Get this over with this year.